What is up, guys? Welcome back to another For the Shoe podcast. And you already know how today's video is going to be. You know how the tone is going to be. A disappointing loss here in Indy at Lucas Oil Stadium, where the Colts fell to the Tennessee Titans 34 to 31 in a pivotal AFC South matchup. A matchup that would have seriously boosted our chances to win the division. Obviously, most likely not going to happen as the Colts are sitting at 3 and 5, still second in the AFC South, but the Titans are unfortunately at 6 and 2, which is gives them a 3 game lead, 4 game including a tiebreaker. So, the best chance we have right now is to make the wild card, but that might also seem unlikely, but it's still possible. Shifting back to the game, nothing went right for this team. Nothing went right for this team yesterday. It just fogged my mind. This game just fogged my mind because we had that game in the bag. We had it secured in the bag for 6 minutes, and if we just sealed it, if we just didn't do anything stupid, we would have won. That should have been an easy win. This Titans are not a healthy team too. Titans are not healthy. Jeffrey Simmons went down early. He came back though, but they just were not healthy at our side. Their entire secondary is banged up. Their nose tackle, I think Tart is his name, is also banged up. And we're the most healthy team. We had the most healthy team we had all season. And despite that, despite our O line being completely healthy, Dio coming back from his Achilles tear from college, um, Rock coming back, Xavier being healthy, Kari being healthy. He obviously went down with injury too. Or everyone was healthy. We still found a way to lose. We still found a way to lose. I hate blaming Reich for everything, but I'm not gonna sit around and say it's not his fault because it definitely is. But I'm not gonna put it solely on him. I'm not gonna put it solely on him because Wentz also made some questionable decisions. Now I don't want to see anyone say this is the first game Wentz did bad. Obviously, losses happen. Every quarterback goes through bad games. That this loss should not be entirely put on Wentz. But what I'm mad about is from Reich's side is how little we're continuing to utilize Jonathan Taylor. The man is arguably a top five, maybe even top three running back in this league. And despite that, despite him having 70 yards rushing on 16 carries, we don't use him at all in overtime. We had gave him one. We give the ball to him one time in overtime, where he rushes for 5 yards. And you think after 5 yards, you think you'd want to like keep punching the ball with JT down the field against a bang up defense, but we just don't do that. And Wentz makes it very questionable, very questionable read to Michael Pittman, which eventually ends up resulting in a pick that will eventually seal the game for the Titans, and they'll eventually win on a field goal. And I want to go to the pick before that. The pick before on the end zone, that one was not on Wentz, and that was not on Wentz. I looked at the video again, saw different opinions on this on Twitter, stuff like this. For a brief for a second, you could see Mo open and you could throw to the dirt, but that's a very in the moment decision you have to make. Obviously, not every quarterback is gonna be like um make the decision immediately. But to call a screen pass on your own like what 3 yard line is just completely unwarranted for. I don't understand the reasoning behind that. We had 1:30 left in the game, two timeouts I think, or two or one timeout, but 1:30 in the game is still a decent amount of time. It's actually a lot of time, not even a decent amount of time. That's a lot of time to get down the field and get a field goal to win the game. But we go for a screen pass instead of running the. I guess running the ball wouldn't make sense. I guess I could make a see a case why you shouldn't be running the ball with 1:30 left. But instead of making a check down pass like downfield, you do a screen pass to Mo on the side. It just baffles me like the reasoning behind that. It just I don't know like why it's so hard for us to properly execute plays like Reich. I've heard a lot of Reich hate. Um And this year has definitely been questionable. This year has definitely been questionable for Frank Reich. I'm not gonna. I've been a supporter of him, but this year, obviously I don't want him. Obviously, I don't think he should be fired or anything because in this league it's extremely hard to find a new head coach. It's like the NFL. It's the NFL. It's not like good head coaches don't come and go. Frank Reich is an excellent play caller. Frank Reich is an excellent play caller. But I think what he admitted in an interview that he's not going to give play calling duties to another guy, and I think that lies the problem. I think giving our play calling duties solely, relying it solely on Frank Reich is a problem. Essentially, what he's basically saying, Marcus Brady is just like a dead money. We're just giving him money for basically nothing. We have Marcus Brady. Please utilize him. If you weren't confident in Marcus Brady, you could have brought in a new offensive coordinator and kept Marcus Brady as a quarterbacks coach. But we just didn't do that. And I think also what I think from this game, also what I was like, took some time to analyze from this game. What I took from this game is also that Ballard, the depth that Ballard has surrounded this team, has built around this team is not ideal. Doolin was our wide receiver three. Doolin was our wide receiver three. Doolin would not be a starting wide receiver on any professional football team that I can think of off the top of my head. Pittman was a wide receiver one. Pascal is a solid wide receiver three. Pascal is someone you want as a wide receiver three. But to have Doolin, a guy that primarily plays special teams, starting in your lineup, just starting in your lineup and getting like a decent amount of targets is just completely strange. Like, why are we utilizing Doolin when we have a guy like Strawn who had two decent plays on that game against the Seahawks, and then was suddenly quiet after that. So there's a lot of questions going around this game. Obviously, our chances to make the playoffs are slim now, sitting at 3-5. This is our worst start to the season since 2018, 2019 when we had luck. Obviously, we made the playoffs. We went on a very hot streak and made the playoffs, but now it's looking unlikely with the momentum we have and the toughness of schedule we have. We play Jets and Jaguars, which should be two easy games ahead of us. Then you play Bills, Bucks. The tough teams we play: Bills, Bucks, Cards, and then the Pats. So that's four teams that's four potentially that's four most likely playoff teams that we're gonna play. And I think we're on like an 8 game losing streak against playoff teams. We're like on an 8 game losing streak against playoff teams. We're 0-4 against playoff teams this season. The only wins coming off of is San Fran, who didn't make the playoffs last year. Dolphins, who also didn't make the playoffs and are extremely struggling this year, even with their starting quarterback. And the sorry Texans. So Dolphins and Texans are two sorry teams, and we beat San Fran. So those are the only teams that we beat. Only teams. The good teams like the Russell Wilson Seahawks, the Rams, who we technically basically should have won, I believe, in my opinion, if we utilized our goal line opportunities, and or if Wentz didn't get injured on the final drive. So we very well could have a chance to win that. But obviously, it came down to coaching again. The Titans again, where we didn't utilize Jonathan Taylor, only gave him 10 touches despite Wentz playing on two sprained ankles. Then we get our first win with the Dolphins. Then we lose again to the Ravens despite leading. And why is that? Because we played too conservative. We played too conservative offensively in the fourth quarter, and we're playing with practice squad receivers. So the injuries coaching theme is revolving. It's like being a common theme as of now. And then we play the Texans. We easily manhandle them, as we should have. Um, and then we go to San Francisco, where we go playing like an atmospheric river, and we beat them pretty easily too. And then with the most healthy team we've had all season, and the Titans being considerably banged up, we give Jonathan Taylor only 16 carries, despite us being up by 14, and we start doing playing um it's like the defense starts kind of letting up a little bit. Just everything went wrong for this team. I didn't see like I hate being so negative. I hate being so negative. I feel pretty bad talking about my Colts this way. I feel bad about talking about us like this way because this is a feeling that we haven't felt um much under Reich. This is not a feeling we felt much under Reich. He brought us from 1-5 to the playoffs. He started 5-2 with Jacoby Brissett as quarterback, and then he had an MCL tear, an MCL sprain. So most Colts fans didn't mind that because Reich did amazing considering what we had on offense. We make it to the playoffs with Philip Rivers. We get finished with 11-5 record, and with the Bills, I think that's where the coaching theme comes in again. But we didn't think too much of it. But now it feels like extended on to this season, and it's affecting our season like greatly. Like, what should we have won? Seahawks obviously a week 3 loss. We haven't won a week 3. Week 1 loss. I meant we haven't won a week 1 game since what 2013. So Rams should have been a win if we capitalized in the red zone. Tennessee, who knows what could have happened if you ran it with Jonathan Taylor like at least 20 times, which lets the defense know, which gives the defense more of an element of surprise of whether you're gonna run it or pass it. You can run some play action like and stuff like that. So who knows what could have happened if you ran it with utilize Jonathan Taylor in the first Titans game. The next loss was against the Ravens, so definitely should have won that. No excuse blowing a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. Um, and now, and now we lose to the Titans. We lose to the Titans in a game that I thought we were gonna win. I thought there's no way the Titans were gonna sweep us, but obviously they did. Obviously, it's time for us to admit the Titans are the better team. Titans are the better team, and unless we make some aggressive free agency moves, and on top of that, a good draft, I don't see us having another good year ahead of us. So we need to build a solid wide receiver core. It's not acceptable for um, Doolin to be our wide receiver three. It's not acceptable for Doolin to be our wide receiver three. Because T.Y. Hilton is probably going to retire after the season. He signed a 1-year contract, but he's riddled with injuries. Unfortunately, it's a big loss. But we need some serious change defensively and offensively. We need a solid secondary, and we need a solid wide receiver core and utilize JT. That's all I can say about the loss. That's all I could take away. Wentz did have a bad game, but it's just an off game. Every QB has an off game. I think if we just ran the ball more with Reich, Taylor, I think this game would have gone differently. So that's all my thoughts about this game. Um, and it's just on to Thursday night. On to Thursday night against the Jets. Hope that we win. Hope that we win. Nothing really else to say. It's just if you want to have a chance to playoffs, we need to have the goal that we need to win out. And by winning out, that means beating the teams such as the Cards, Bills, Bucks, Pats, Raiders, teams like those. Those are the teams that we have to beat. So unless we beat those teams, I don't. It's gonna be very hard for us to make a really push for the playoffs. So those are all my thoughts for the video. I'll be maybe making a video soon about why they specifically uh uh what changes we need to make for the off season, and yeah, and I'll be previewing the Jets game soon. So that's all I have for this video. Um Obviously, an unfortunate loss, but we got to move on. There's no point in dwelling in the past games. It's time to move on. Still love this team. Still love this team, and it's time to just push forward and try to do the best we can to still make the playoffs. So that's all I have for the video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. See you guys.